everybody. I'm Aimee. That's Sam. And today we're discussing Kirkus's best picture books of 2021. And we're going to look at three categories: biographies, families, and wordless. And I'm going to kick this off today with The Fearless Flights of Hazel Lee, which both Sam and I really, really like the story. It's a very important story, but we didn't love the illustrations. So I'd give it a thumb sideways.
I would give it a thumbs up. The illustrations weren't my very favorite, but they were good enough. And the story was so fabulous. Thumbs up. Okay. The next one is Shaped by Her Hands, about Potter Maria Martinez. And this is a really good story. Like, I was excited to learn about Maria Martinez, but it's kind of like the last one. I did not feel like these illustrations rose to the level of best quality. So I'm going to go sideways on this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I might have even gone down, but
I know it's really long.
It is really long. And the pictures just were really flat.
So the next one is My Art, My World by Rita Winkler. Yeah. This is a book about an artist who has Down syndrome, and she wrote this book. And while I don't think it's one of the best books of the year, I think it is a really, really important book so that our kiddos can gain empathy and learn about Down syndrome. So thumbs up.
Yeah, for me, thumbs up, and exactly the same. I didn't think it was the best illustrations or whatever, but it's an important book that doesn't exist. Okay, next is I Am Odd, I Am New, which is a picture book, beautiful, simple picture book, all about a child with autism and how he sees the world. And I love the message. I love the story. I love the illustrations. I did not like the way this was written in rhyming couplets. To me, that is something you use for sweet, sing-songy, goofball kind of stuff. And this has too much importance to me. Like, I felt like it almost pulled away from the power of the story because it was told in these rhyming couplets. So I'm going to go sideways on this one. All right.
Well, we're about to change this train because we both love the next book, which is Jump at the Sun, the true life tale of unstoppable story catcher Zora Neale Hurston.
Oh, yeah.
And this one, the text and the pictures are both amazing and energetic and really represent Zora. And so please, please, please pick up this book.
Yeah. Total Caldecott contender right there. I love that book. Thumbs up, two big thumbs up. Okay, next is another book I think we both really loved. This is called Puras Cuentos. It's all about Pura Belpré, who was a children's librarian in New York City. And there is an award for great books, representation of Latino culture, that's named after her because she was an important and amazing lady. Illustrations, electric. Story, well told. Big thumbs up for me. I really enjoyed this one.
Okay, next, another great picture book about a woman in history, Classified: The Secret Career of Mary Golda Ross, Cherokee Aerospace Engineer. So important. I never knew this woman existed. However, hated the illustrations. Hated. So, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of sideways in this list, right?
Yeah.
I totally agree. I feel like that was a really great story that I wanted to read, but I did not enjoy looking at the pictures. Okay. This is another picture book biography, and this one is about, you can probably tell from the cover, Jimi Hendrix, who's one of my very, very favorite musicians. So I was primed to love this. I did totally love the illustrations. To me, the illustrations here were electric and really went well with Jimi Hendrix's music and personality. I liked the text to a degree. When I got about halfway through, I got tired of the kind of hip hop style text that it had, but it's really energetic and it's really interesting. So I'm going to give this a thumbs up, even though I didn't think the text was perfect. I loved the illustrations. And this is one of the ones Aimee and I are going to disagree on because we talked about this and we both didn't have the same opinion.
Yeah, I did not like the text. I did not like the illustrations. I did not like the ending.
Okay, so if you like Jimi Hendrix, maybe you'll like that one and maybe not.
Okay, my final biography is Aurelie is a Dreamer by Aurelie Morales. So this is a story about a girl who was brought to the United States and grew up here, only knew herself as an American, only to find out she was not yet an American citizen. So this is an extremely important book that our kiddos need to be aware that just because you live in the United States does not make you a citizen, and we need to figure out a path to citizenship. So total thumbs up on this one.
From me too. Beautiful, beautiful story. Very important. And one that doesn't really exist. I haven't read a story like that before.
No.
And that's always exciting to see. I believe this is our last, no, you have one more, right? No, this is our last biography that we're covering. This is a biography of Nina Simone, an amazing, pianist, which I didn't know. I think of her as a singer. And this was written by Tracy Todd and illustrated by one of my favorite children's illustrators, Christian Robinson. I loved this book. I loved Nina Simone. I love Christian Robinson, the illustrator. I think I really love everything about this book. So big, big thumbs up from me.
It was fine.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. Our next category is families.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to kick it off with ICUC, which I loved. There is no storyline to this book. It is purely about imagination. And I really, really thumbs up for me.
Thumbs up, and great representation. This book, my first book in the family series, is The Electric Slide and Kai. And this is a lot of fun. The illustrations are fun. The story is fun. It's all about learning your place in the family. I would definitely give this a big thumbs up. It's charming.
Loved it.
Yeah.
Okay, our next book is Dad Bakes, which I loved. I loved the illustrations. I felt like they were very alive and representative. And I love the storyline, which is about a dad who'd been incarcerated and he was bringing his family back together. So very unusual storyline. So total thumbs up for me.
Yeah. Next up is a book that I think is on my short list for Caldecott. This is Milo Imagines the World. And, I'm kind of the kind of person who cries at picture books. And this was a book that brought me to tears, as well as just being charming and sweet. And the way that illustration was used in this was, I thought, unique and very, very fun. So,
and that's Christian Robinson again, right?
Yes, he's getting all the love.
He is
and
amazing.
Matt De La Pena is also, he writes great teen books. He writes great picture books. The dude knows his way around writing a book.
He is amazing. Okay, my next one is Dancing with Daddy. And we talked a lot about the books that featured people that we didn't find them enlivening, but I really felt like the illustrations in this one came alive for me. Like, this girl has a disease I've never heard of, but I felt her expression and energy throughout the book. So I would recommend Dancing with Daddy.
I would give it a thumbs up too. It's not my biggest thumbs up, but I definitely give it a thumbs up. Okay, next up is a book that has pictures that are electric as far as I'm concerned. This is called Stroller Coaster. And it's a really fun, exciting, it's dramatic in a way that you wouldn't expect. The illustrations are by Raoul III, who's also, and Elaine Bay. And I love everything he does, all his Let's Go to the Market stuff. He's an amazing artist. So these are the kinds of pictures that I could pour over for days. So big thumbs up for Stroller Coaster.
Big, big, big thumbs up. Okay, my final families is The Night Walk, which my comment is, and I'm only saying one word, perfect. Big thumbs up.
Thumbs up. Yes. It's a kind of a teaser. You're going to have to check it out and read it to find out why we think it's perfect. Okay, I have two left, so I will do the next two. My next in the families is On the Trap Line, and I'm going to give this a big thumbs up. This is a story all about a Cree family, and they're going and visiting this trap line, which is how they used to catch food for the family. And so, like, grandpa's like taking granddaughter to the trap line, and it's just something I've never seen before. The illustrations are very quiet, but also very engaging. They draw you in. I really like that. And there's a lot of sort of Cree words that are incorporated, and I love seeing words from other languages. So I would highly recommend On the Trap Line, written by David Robertson and illustrated by Julie Flett.
So I felt like this was a very important book, but the layout did not work for me at any way. And this is getting really fussy, but the font they chose did not work. So I'm going to go sideways.
Okay, I'm going big thumbs up, but I think it's really interesting that a book that we both know is important and is great. It's like I think people should take away the fact that if they don't like a book that we both say is perfect and amazing, that doesn't mean they're wrong. You know what I mean? Like you and I disagree on a lot of this stuff, and we both are correct.
That's true.
Because it doesn't, these are all about what sings to your soul, and not every book is going to sing to every person's soul. But that said, the perfect segue, because this last book sings to everybody's soul. This is a book called Watercress, illustrated by Andrea Wong and written by Andrea Wong, illustrated by Jason Chin. And Aimee and I almost had to have a fist fight over who got to review this one because we both loved it so much. And it was the top of the list for many of the review lists that we saw. So this is definitely a Caldecott contender.
Okay, our next category is Wordless, which I think for both Sam and I is a favorite because we can never use wordless books in story time. It's too difficult because you really have to pore over the pictures to pick up the plot. So I'm going to start with the one that Sam did not enjoy. And I thought the storyline was hard to follow, but I really loved the illustrations.
Yeah.
And this is Grasshopper, which is about a girl who catches a grasshopper. And those illustrations.
Illustrations did not do it for me. And the story just did not keep me hanging in there. So I totally feel you, but I don't agree with you. Okay, this next one is one that was a bit of a perplexer for both Aimee and I. We both put notes on this I don't know what's happening here. But that said, if you like a little mystery in your wordless book, Alien Nation, see if you can figure out what's going on here and leave a comment for us and tell us, because I've read this 3 times and maybe that's the purpose, right? Maybe the purpose is that the author, who is Sandro Bassi, wants us to not know what's going on and wants us to see it in different ways. I love that. The illustrations are amazing.
They are.
It's just a really strange head scratcher of a book. So check it out if you want to be sort of scratching your head and wondering what's up. But I'm gonna go thumb sideways because the art was great and the story was.
So my last book, I said the art was great and the story was the art was great and the story was terrible. This one, the story is great and the art is not to my taste, and I don't think Sam liked it either. And it's called Over the Shop. Oh, yeah. It's a very heartwarming story, but this art did not resonate with me. So I'm going to go thumb sideways.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go ahead and give that a thumbs up because the story was so great and the art was fine for me, so it's enough that I'm like this, but I'm kind of like this way. I'm not all the way up and I'm not all the way sideways. Okay, my last wordless book is one that Aimee and I did not quite agree on. It's called The Dog Walk by Sven Nordquist. And I will give this a thumbs up because to me, if you've ever seen the book Anno's Journey by Anno Mitsasuma, I'm not sure if that's the last name, but Anno's Journey is a book where you just it's not really a story. You look at the pages and you pore over all the little details in the pages. Well, this is that kind of book. I looked at this with my 7-year-old yesterday and we had a super fun time just finding all the random little things happening on the fringes. It's really not much of a story. That's the purpose of the book, I think, is just to engage with the illustrations and find all the little things going on. So because my 7-year-old loved it so much, I got to give it a thumbs up.
I did. The illustrations were really beautiful. So I would go thumb sideways because I didn't get the story.
It's not one you want to do for a bedtime thing. It's it's not a quiet, calm down story. It's a look at that 10-foot tall zebra, it's that kind of story.
Okay. Our last wordless book, both Sam and I think, is also a contender for the Caldecott. It's The Midnight Fair. And this, again, I'm going to just say perfect. It's just a perfect book.
Mm-hmm. This was my favorite book of all the wordless ones by a lot.
By so much.
And it might be my favorite book. It might be my top.
It's definitely in my top 10. So total thumbs up.
Total thumbs up. Really fun.
Next up, we're going to go to Publishers Weekly, their best of. Now, they had a lot of crossover with the Kirkus lists and the school library journal lists. So we're doing very few of these books because we've already talked about them or will be talking about them. So the ones that weren't on any other best list are the ones we're talking about today. Right, Sam?
Right.
Okay. I'm going to start off negatively, which is Fish and Sun. And this is a quote to my comments. Why is this a top pick? Why?
I'm going some sideways because I recognize that it has merit and value as a reader, and I like Sergio Rousier's illustrations in that one. But I agree. I don't think it's anything best of. Okay. My first Publishers Weekly it's another negative one. It's The Rock from the Sky by John Clausen. And I have to say, this has happened to me more than once where I have expectations when John Clausen prints a new book because his first two books were over the moon amazing and some of my very favorite books, and I own them both. And so whenever a new one comes out, I'm like, is it going to be as good as I Want My Hat Back? And it's almost never as good. And this one is just mystifying to me. Like, it's really long. It doesn't really work as a book that you would share with a typical storybook audience. It works more as a reader, to be honest. And it's not shaped like a reader, so it won't be shelved with the readers. It's sort of a mystifying book. I appreciate the illustrations. I really like John Clausen's graphic, his graphic design, I think is really on point. But I did not like this story and I can't give it a thumbs up. So I got to go thumbs down on this one.
Sorry, John, we love you, but okay. My next book is A Celebration of Family, and families that cook together, Sam, are families that eat together. Mm-hmm. So Soul Food Sunday, a great celebration of both soul food and family. So pick up, if you need joy in your life, this is a joyful book.
And look at that cover. I mean, you can just tell that it's electric, like alive with, heart and soul and food.
I'm hungry now just talking about it.
Okay. So my next one is The People's Painter, How Ben Shahn Fought for Justice with Art, which is a really great picture book biography. The topic is really interesting and the story is well told. I have to say, though, these illustrations did not do it for me. Not my kind of illustrations, probably indicative of his kind of art, which is good. And so the thing I would say about this is, Aimee and I have a lot of opinions about things, but art is something that's very personal. And one of the beauties of picture books is that your child can experience 100 different kinds of art and start to understand what they like about art and what makes them, feel great in the art world. So this is one of those where the art might not be to my style, but it might be to your style. So it doesn't mean it's bad. I'm going to go thumb sideways because I think the story is good and the art's not to my taste, but I definitely think this is a book that people should read.
Yeah. Okay. Another celebration of family is Let Me Fix You a Plate, A Tale of Two Kitchens.
Oh, I love this one.
Yeah. Also very enjoyable, really lovely story. And again, echoing Sam, I did not enjoy this art. It did not work for me. So I'm going sideways.
I'm going thumbs up. That art did work for me, but it just shows you how personal art is, right? Okay. This is one I don't know. I'm not entirely sure if Aimee loved this one as much as I did. But this is another one of my Caldecott shortlist titles. This is Keeping the City Going by Brian Flocka. He's won before, that he's a Caldecott winner before. So in some ways that makes me less excited about him winning because I like to see new people winning, but this is amazing. The illustrations, and it's a story for our time because it's all about pandemic times and the people who kept cities moving, kept everything going along while we were all quarantining and stuck inside. So this is an important book for the moment that we're in right now and illustrated just amazingly. So I'm going to give this a big thumbs up.
I would give it a thumbs up. The illustrations are stunning.
Yeah. Okay.
My last book today is Have You Seen Gordon? I love this book. If you are a Where's Waldo fan or any of the other Look and Find books, you totally need to read this because Gordon doesn't want to hide anymore. Okay. He's done. So let him be. Just let him be. Thumbs up.
Thumbs up for me too. And Aimee, on a personal note, please don't return that because I want to take it home and show it to Nick. It's the kind of book he's going to totally love. Okay, I got one last one too, and this is another one. This is probably my favorite one on the PW Publishers Weekly list. My last one is called Circle Under Berry. And as a person who does a lot of programming for toddlers and babies, and like really concept books are something that I consume a lot of because there's a lot of them out there and they're important to share with little people. This concept book is really cool and really different. And, it like uses colors and shapes and fruits and animals. And I mean, there's so many different things covered in here that it provides a million opportunities for language sharing and for vocabulary development, as well as just understanding of basic concepts. So huge thumbs up for Circle Under Berry by Carter Higgins.
Here's some of the, and I just want to say, and Sam has never heard me say these words before, but I actually hope that one is made into a board book.
That's the kind of thing we would never, because so often picture books are turned into board books and it's not pretty, but this would make, and these pages are actually thicker than typical.
They are,
pages, but as a board book, and it wouldn't be too long as a board book. It would totally work as a board book.
Okay, that ends our 3 topics on Kirkus and Publishers Weekly. Next week, we'll do 3 more topics and I believe read brightly. So
that's fun.
That one's going to be a super fun discussion of things we do not like.
We often disagree with them. Them and the New York Times. All right, let's do it.
Bye, everybody.